Hey, this is Mike Neumeier again, 410-902-0464. Again, 410-902-0464. Now, that number, of course, is in everything we produce in the podcast. You'll see it many times, but that's the number, 410-902-0464. You can call with questions. You can call if you want to come and see me. We make appointments. We keep a certain number of appointments available for people to call in. And what I've done is expanding my offerings as far as time now. If you've got a rollover you want to talk about, people are concerned now about taking care of these things because the market, they may have their plan 401k or whatever in the market, and they're concerned. So what I've done now is I'm meeting with people in the evenings and even on the weekends. But you've got to call us and tell us, let's find a good time for you, and I will try to help you. So call us in, call in 410-902-0464, and we can explore different options. There's no obligation and there's no cost for the session. So, just give me a call. Now, employee-sponsored plans, I did touch on, I think I began to touch on this last time. We covered Social Security, but then we got into employer. What I want to tell you, there's basically two kinds of plans that you got at your employment. One is the old-fashioned pension. We call it a defined benefit plan. So that's not anything that you have to really worry about. You'll have your pension, depending on how they invest it, of course. Now, some of these pension plans have not done that well, and some of them will allow you to change the investments. Where is the money going to be invested? Some are completely paid for by the employer, and you've got a guaranteed number when you're ready to retire. Not all of them. The Pension Benefit Guarantee Association stands behind pensions that are offered by companies. So even if the pension gets in trouble, it's underfunded, that insurance, the Pension Guarantee Corporation, or Pension Benefit Guarantee Corporation, is there to help them out. This happened with a number of companies, back during the Great Recession. And the biggest problem with pensions actually took place in California, where the public employment plan got in a lot of trouble. So, and it got bailed out. So the thing is that and that was that wasn't really covered by the Pension Benefit Guarantee Association, but the state of California had to step up and rescue it. Okay, so pensions are considered pretty safe, and you can know if you're working for a solid company, then you can know ahead of time, what your benefit's going to be when you retire. So that's we call these qualified plans. What do we mean by that? They're basically IRS, sanctioned plans. So they have rules. And then you got defined contribution plans, which is your 401k and all the other ones that we mentioned earlier. The thing is that with those, you have a limitation on what you can contribute. Okay? In a lot of these, you can go up to $22,000, $25,000, $26,000 a year, but there is a limit. There is a limit. Most people aren't aware of that, and most people, contribute a relatively low amount of money in these things, especially younger people. They can't afford to do more, and they're going to be doing it for a longer time. The big problem with all of that is that the investments that they put the money in oftentimes, have a lot of volatility, and also because so many people don't look at them. They don't look at them. I've been a long time ago, I used to go out to people's homes and so forth, and I would see a stack of statements that had not been opened. So it's, that's kind of the attitude by a lot of people. They don't bother to look at those things, and that's not the right thing to do. And the reason that they should look at them is because they can change the investments within the plan. They can change them. And in times like this, what do you do for the investing? Well, I'll tell you what we recommend sometimes is to simply spread the investments over all the choices. And, sometimes in a plan like that, you'll have a lot of choices. So you really can't spread them over all of them. And I advise people on what the best choices are. And I've had people send me in their choices, and I looked at them and so forth. If we have an ongoing relationship, I let people do that. If you're brand new with us, then you got to come in and show it to us. I'm not gonna just do it through the mail if I don't know you. You know, there's a thing, do you know your client? And there's no obligation, so you really aren't going to be a client at that point. You may become one. But I will help, I will share my insight into those choices if you bring it in, make an appointment, bring it in, I'll be more than help you. More than happy to help you. There's what they call in-service distributions in some of these plans. What does that mean? Mostly I see it coming from nurses and people in the healthcare area where they've got a 403B. 403B is the same as, pretty much, as a 401k. But this is what's offered, you know, to nurses and doctors and technicians that work in hospitals and clinics and so forth. So in those instances, and some 401ks too, you can actually roll over some of the money as often as you want to, really, into an IRA. So I've worked with people through the years that on a systematic basis roll over money each year into one of our lifetime, private pensions. So that's just an option. And they know they're never going to lose money. Oftentimes they get a bonus. Speaking of bonuses, and I've talked about this in a couple of podcasts, look at this. We have right now a 20% bonus available. We have a 20% bonus available that goes into the personal pensions. So any rollovers that come to us right now have this available to them. Very popular. Very popular. So, 410, 902, 0464. So here's a gold mine. You can roll over, transfer in, money to a plan like this, pick up 20% in lifetime income. And if you're just going to roll over right now, as an example, and retire, you can start income immediately. Huh? As long as you're 60 years old or older, you can get income immediately on these kinds of plans with a big bonus. So keep that in mind. We'd love to talk to you about that. All right. And then how much time do we have, Ms. Producer?
7 minutes.
7 minutes. Okay, let me see what I can do in 7 minutes. All right. Let me go back to the retirement pensions just real fast. A lot of you don't have them, but let me share this with you. Okay, so these are the key points. Provides a specific monthly benefit at retirement age to eligible employees. And there's typically a vesting schedule. What does that mean? That means that if you're getting the pension, which is pretty much paid for by the company, then they will tell you how long you got to be with them to be fully vested. That is, to be able to get the full benefits. Okay? So that's important. You can calculate your retirement benefits by using a formula that considers factors such as salary and years of service. And, sometimes I forget these things because this is so much material that I often refer back to it. I put this together a long time ago, and then I modified it, of course, through the years. Participants may or may not be required to make contributions depending on the plan. That's true. So not every plan is completely paid for by the employer. Originally, they were. If you go back long enough, but the point is today, and there's not that many pensions left around, so a lot of them that are still in force or have begun in the last several years will ask the employees to participate, make some contributions. But on the other, how do you compare that to 401k? Well, 401k, you're making contributions all the time. Money may not be there if the market goes up and down. In this one, you're going to get that pension. You're going to get it. And if they run out of money in their fund, that's why the Pension Benefit Guarantee Association is there to back them up. So you don't really see people suffering when those things go down. Okay? Not as true with government pensions. Now, government pensions are relying on the taxpayer. So they're going to get us. They're going to get us to pay for it. And that's what happened in California when they had that big problem. Okay. Retirement income is usually taxed as ordinary income. Of course, just like the income from your 401k and the investments. So if we roll it over and we put it into somewhere that produces income, you're going to pay taxes. My producer says I got 1 minute. Thing you got to remember is The bonuses will help you pay the taxes. Huh? How you like that? Or how about this? And I'll leave you with this idea. What if you lost money in the market? Well, look at this one. You could put the money in here. You can never lose money in these. And you get the 20% bonus. It'll help you overcome the losses. And I'll leave you with that bright thought. And we'll be back. Thank you.